Welcome to the Weather Guru podcast for Thursday, October 9th, 2025. Thank you for subscribing, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be looking at the weather for the lower 48 United States as well as the tropical outlook later on concerning our friend Jerry that's out in the Atlantic Ocean making its way toward the Leeward Islands as we speak. But first, let's get to the local hazards here, courtesy of the National Weather Service and Pivotal Weather. We're looking at the National Weather Service current hazards valid for today, October 9th, 2025, and into tomorrow morning, October 10th, 2025. And you see this big blue purplish area here into the northern New England, down into the Pennsylvania Allegheny Valley and into the Shenandoah Valley. This is a freeze warning in effect for these counties, and this extends into the Panhandle of Maryland and West Virginia, into central Pennsylvania, western Pennsylvania, up into upstate New York, the Catskills, the Adirondack country, as well as the Green and White Mountains of Vermont and New Hampshire and Maine, respectively. This also includes major metropolitan areas along I-95 from Portland down to Boston, down to Connecticut, River Valley into New York City. There's also a freeze warnings that are approaching the New York City metro area on the northern side of the Beltway there into New Jersey. So just something to keep in mind as well. As we want to forget our friends in North Dakota. They're having a Minot, North Dakota, northward past Jamestown up to the Canadian border. There is a freeze warning in effect. Now in green here, flood watches continue in the Four Corners area. So if you're going anywhere visiting the St. George's, Moab, Utah area, over to Durango, Colorado, and the west of the Continental Divide, into the Grand Canyon area, much needed rain there, but too much is going to create flooding for Phoenix, Payson City, Yuma, Arizona, back toward California, Blythe, I-10 area coming into Palm Springs, Indio, and the deserts area east of the Coachella Valley and the Lake Salton Sea area there, So you want to be careful there as well. Now we have high wind warnings in the north-south mountains of Nevada there, wind advisory in effect. So we got high-profile vehicles, semi-trucks coming through that area north of Carson City, Nevada. Be very careful. We have an area in blue here. This is a winter storm watch here for the high mountain chains north of the Rocky Mountains, the Bitterroots, and the high mountains of Montana and Boise and Idaho, northeast of Boise, Idaho there. So be careful if you come along I-90, Cut Bank, and I-84 there through Idaho. Could be windy, it could be frosty, and some winter weather is expected there in the highest of elevations there. Now, don't forget our friends in Florida here, from Jacksonville, St. Augustine, down to Cape Cocoa Beach, Melbourne Beach, Palm Bay, down to the Palm Beaches there. There is a flood watch in effect for this coastal low that is bringing showers in that area, as well as in the Charleston area. So we come in Charleston, North Myrtle Beach, Conway, South Carolina, maybe coming along 17 there, U.S. Highway 17 there. Be careful. There is a flood watch in effect for some of the coastal flood watches there, in green, for some of the lowest lying there. So be careful if you're coming along I-95 north or heading up U.S. 17 north out of Jekyll Island, Georgia, and Hardyville into, say, Conway, Myrtle Beach, Charleston, all those areas, North Charleston. You want to be careful. Into Jacksonville and those areas heading south, as I just mentioned. So that's what we have going on as far as the hazards. All in all, a beautiful day, a crisp fall night for most areas from Chicago on back. 40s are possible, 30s are possible for low temperatures to say in the morning. So be very careful about that. Now, the next 6 to 10 days, my friends, looks absolutely fabulous here. You can see this red. All of this is 5 to 10, even to 15 to 20 degrees above average here in the DFW Metroplex area. Back along 20, Midland, Odessa, back in the Austin, the Red Hill country, down into San Antonio. Hello to you guys. You're going to be 5 to 10 to 15 degrees above average for the next 6 to 10 days, temperature outlook. And this includes our friends eastward along I-20, Texarkana, Little Rock, back towards Louisiana, Slidell, Shreveport. Hello to you. Greenville, Mississippi, Memphis, Cordova, Germantown, back toward Huntsville, Alabama, Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, hello to you, Mobile, Tallahassee, Albany, Gainesville, Florida, Atlanta. All these areas are going to be 5, 10 to 15 degrees above average. And we don't want to forget our friends up north. Hello to you, Chicago, Indianapolis, Detroit. You're going to be above average. Up in the Grand Rapids, hello to you. Eau Claire, Wisconsin, into Minneapolis, St. Paul. We're going to have a warm surge here that's going to affect the middle 2/3 of the country. Where it's going to be cool here is this dip in the jet stream is going to provide cool temperatures as much as 5 to 10 to 15 degrees below average for Vegas, San Diego, back up towards Fresno, Lompoc, guys like Oxnard, hello to you, LA, back into the high country of the Sierra, Bridgeport, hello to you, Truckee, California, and back into the Oregon and Washington, the PNW. So folks like Spokane, Walla Walla, back toward Bellingham, Washington, and folks east of the Puget Sound, you're going to be experiencing temperatures 5 to 10 degrees below average for the next 6 to 10 days. And this is from October 15th to October 19th. So it's coming in the middle of next week. We're going to see these changes. And even in the mid-Atlantic, we're going to see these changes here from Baltimore, D.C., Philadelphia, Trenton. Hello to you guys, huh? And Allentown, Pennsylvania, up into the Catskills of New York, and then into New York City, the boroughs. You're going to be 5 to 10 degrees below average. This is all going to be starting next Wednesday, October 15th, through next Sunday, October 19th. That's what we have coming up for it now. On to our tropical update here. You can see we have Tropical Storm Jerry here. It's maintaining pretty good strong tropical storm, maybe 50 to 60 mile an hour winds tops here. And you can see it's moving right over, getting closer to the Leeward Islands here. So folks, warnings have been issued, of course, for the upper Leeward Islands, of course, like U.S. Virgin Islands, Saba, St. Eustatius, the British Virgin Islands, St. Croix, all these islands down here, Antigua, Anguilla. It's moving in that direction. We have a little disturbance up here that's not going to be affecting anybody past the Azores here. This is an orange, less than 40% chance of development. Now, you look here, you can see Jerry's going to curve east of Bermuda here as a hurricane, probably as a Category 1 or 2 hurricane here. It's going to curve away from Bermuda, so Bermuda should get a little bit of rain from this system, but nothing too substantial. We have those tropical storm warnings in blue here, and we also have the tropical storm watches in yellow here for the Leeward Islands here, as you can see. Now, Jerry, tropical storm conditions are expected tomorrow, this evening, right now, through Friday morning here. Heavy rainfall is the main impact with Jerry. Some of these banding here, eastern Puerto Rico sections, like people in Loquillo, Fajardo, and Guayanaba, and the Vieques and Culebra Islands, and U.S. Virgin Islands, and the British Virgin Islands, they could pick up anywhere from 2 to 4 inches of rain. This is going to extend down to St. Kitts and Nevis, Guadeloupe, Dominica Islands, Antigua. Once again, I mentioned you guys, Saba, St. Eustatius. All these islands could pick up between 2 to 4 inches of much needed rainfall, and we just hope the winds can stay down there. That could result in flash flooding, particularly in urban areas and in steep terrain. A lot of these islands here, Leeward Islands, have mountainous terrain, but islands like St. John, U.S. Virgin Islands, even Puerto Rico with El Yunque, but El Yunque Forest is in the middle, close to the middle of Puerto Rico. Now we're going to get about 1 to 2 inches of rain, so that should be okay for you guys in Puerto Rico. But Guadeloupe, mountainous island, some of these islands here, just be careful if you have any travel or cruising plans to go on a cruise in the next 2 to 3 to 4 days there. In the islands there, the Leeward Islands, from U.S. Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, down to St. Kitts, St. Martin, Guadeloupe, Antigua, etc., Barbados, etc. Now, the good news is that this system is quickly moving. So by Saturday, Jerry will be past the islands, and it'll be all clean and good here. As you can see, the wind field here is extremely lopsided on the east side. The tropical storm force winds are all loaded on the east side over the ocean here, and these winds are just starting to get into here. As you can see, Antigua, some of the airports there are reporting sustained gusts of tropical storm force. That's winds above 39 or 40 miles an hour. Sustained winds probably now running about 20 to 35 miles an hour right now, but they are getting into the meat of this. So this looks like an overnight event here tonight, and then by Friday morning, the tropical storm force winds should be subsiding from Jerry as Jerry continues to pull away to the north and northeast, eventually turn from the islands here. So that's a blessing that this thing is moving fast. And it is on the weaker side for a tropical storm. Maximum sustained winds are at 65 miles an hour, so it is expected to continue to be a tropical storm as it makes its way through the Leeward Islands. So that's good news. It's not going to be at hurricane strength until it gets Saturday, 2 p.m. Saturday, according to the official track by the National Hurricane Center. And that places it well east of the Bahamas, well east of Turks and Caicos, and well east of the Hispaniola, out in the open ocean here. So even Bermuda, as it passes by Bermuda will get some effects, but it won't be as intense because they're going to be on the left side of the system, which is going to be the weaker side, not the dirty side, the eastern side. As you can see, all this tropical storm force winds are extending out more on the eastern side as the system is kind of lopsided here. So, and the movement is very fast too. Like I said, right now it's west-northwest moving at 18 miles an hour, very fast movement, and this continues as the hurricane center has this accelerated pattern here. So by Sunday of this coming week, the system has already passed Bermuda and making that curve eastward. And this is the second storm, by the way, that's made this 90-degree right turn that we just had with Imelda. And now we're having Jerry following this same curve pattern here, from a retreating Bermuda high, Azores high here that's further to the east, which is very interesting during this hurricane season. Let me know what you think in the comments about that pattern that we've been seeing here with these tropical systems late in the season. Now, we have 1 more month of hurricane season. November 30th is the last day, and we're just going through the names here in the Atlantic. There's some storms in the Pacific. I'll get to those a little bit later, probably tomorrow for those who are interested. They're kind of just moving away from shore, from Mexico coast, or from Cabo San Lucas, but we'll get into that later. Anyway, this has been the update. For weather update, tropical update. God bless. Talk to you soon. Thanks for subscribing. Be sure to share the video, and I'll talk to you on the next episode. Thanks for listening.